Today, we're counting down 8 compact cars from the 1970s with documented mechanical failures, safety issues, and quality problems that left owners stranded and frustrated. From engines that self-destructed to fuel tanks that ruptured in collisions, these vehicles had serious flaws that went beyond typical reliability issues. Let's get started. Number 8. AMC Gremlin, 1970 to 1980. The AMC Gremlin was created by chopping 12 inches off the back of a Hornet, resulting in poor weight distribution and compromised handling. The 6-cylinder engine made the car front-heavy and nose-down, while the reduced rear suspension produced a choppy, uncomfortable ride. The truncated rear end created a cramped interior with limited cargo space, making it impractical for most buyers. Build quality varied significantly across production years. Carburetor problems were common. Electrical issues plagued early models, and rust ate through body panels quickly. The rear glass hatch became notorious for falling off while driving due to weak aluminum hinges that couldn't withstand repeated use. The Gremlin sold reasonably well during high gas prices, but represented a missed opportunity with its numerous quality control issues and compromised design. Number 7. Ford Pinto, 1971 to 1980. The Ford Pinto's fuel tank was positioned behind the rear axle with only 9 inches of crush space, making it vulnerable to rupture in rear-end collisions. Internal crash tests showed the tank ruptured at speeds over 25 miles per hour. When struck from behind, the fuel filler neck could tear away, spilling gasoline that ignited from crash sparks. The buckling floor pan allowed flames into the cabin, and deformed doors often jammed shut, trapping occupants. Ford engineers identified fixes costing as little as $11 per car, but company executives decided against implementing them. In June 1978, Ford recalled 1.5 million Pintos and Mercury Bobcats after mounting lawsuits and federal pressure. The Pinto's fuel tank design became one of the most studied automotive safety failures in history, highlighting the consequences of prioritizing cost savings over passenger safety in vehicle design. Number 6. Chevrolet Vega, 1971 to 1977. The Chevrolet Vega featured an aluminum engine block with silicon-coated cylinder walls that failed catastrophically. Early Vegas lacked coolant recovery tanks, and poor valve stem seals combined with thin piston plating caused routine overheating. When engines overheated, the aluminum expanded faster than the iron head and pistons, warping cylinders and causing complete engine failure within the first year of ownership. Rust appeared within months of purchase. The 6-stage rust-proofing process had defects that left front fender undersides unprotected, and GM eliminated plastic fender liners to save money. In 1972, 500,000 Vegas were recalled for rear axle shafts that could separate and cause wheels to fall off, faulty carburetor brackets that jammed throttles open, and 2-barrel engines that backfired violently enough to rupture fuel tanks. By 1974, Chevrolet was forced to repair virtually all overheated engines just to maintain customer loyalty. Number 5. Dodge Aspen Plymouth Volare, 1976 to 1980. The Dodge Aspen and Plymouth Volare were pushed into production 6 months early, skipping crucial testing phases. Within 2 years of launch, the 1960 models alone had been recalled 8 times by federal safety regulators for issues including emission systems, fuel leaks, and seatbelt failures. These twins became the most recalled vehicles in automotive history up to that point. The most visible problem was premature fender rust on every single front fender of over 1 million 1976 to 77. Each required inspection, removal, replacement, or galvanization at a cost of $109 million to Chrysler. Additional recalls addressed hoods that wouldn't latch, engines that stalled during acceleration, suspension and brake components suffering early fatigue, missing muffler heat shields, and leaky fuel hoses. The recall costs reached several $billion, contributing directly to Chrysler's near bankruptcy by 1978. Number 4. AMC Pacer, 1975 to 1980. The AMC Pacer weighed 3,425 pounds, which was deep into mid-sized car territory. This excessive weight came from a heavy inline-six engine, extensive glass areas that weighed more than steel panels, and built-in safety features. The car was designed around a compact rotary engine that GM canceled, forcing AMC to hastily reconfigure the drivetrain for a much heavier conventional engine. The desmogged six-cylinder engines produced just 100 horsepower, resulting in poor performance. Fuel economy was terrible at only 18 to 22 miles per gallon, making it unable to compete with lighter imports. The Pacer was as wide as a Rolls-Royce, but had a cramped back seat squeezed between rear wheel wells. First-year sales of 145,000 units dropped rapidly as buyers realized it was an inefficient four-passenger vehicle without proper trunk space. Production ended in December 1979 after just 280,000 units, far below break-even. Number 3. Oldsmobile Omega, 1973 to 1979. The Oldsmobile Omega was a rebadged Chevrolet Nova with minimal changes to justify its higher price. Buyers quickly realized they were paying extra for an Oldsmobile badge on an essentially identical car. The Omega offered poor value compared to the cheaper Nova, and build quality was subpar even by 1970s standards. Mechanical problems plagued the Omega throughout its production run. Reliability issues were common, and handling and performance were mediocre. The car failed to distinguish itself in the crowded compact market and became one of the more forgettable models from Oldsmobile. It exemplified GM's problematic strategy of creating multiple versions of the same car without meaningful differentiation, leaving customers feeling they had overpaid for a badge. Number 2. Ford Maverick, 1969 to 1977. The Ford Maverick was outdated and cheaply built from its introduction. The cramped interior featured low-quality materials that felt bargain basement when no. Performance was anemic with the base inline-six engine, and even the optional V8 couldn't overcome the car's fundamental lack of refinement. Ford added the Grabber package with hood scoops and a rear spoiler, but cosmetic upgrades couldn't hide basic shortcomings. Build quality was inconsistent across production years. Handling was vague and heavy, making the driving experience forgettable. The Maverick did nothing particularly well and left owners uninspired. While it sold in decent numbers due to low pricing, it represented mediocrity in automotive form. The car failed to match the reputation of its Falcon predecessor and couldn't compete effectively with imports that offered better refinement and reliability at similar price points. Number 1. Chevrolet Chevette, 1976 to 1987. The Chevrolet Chevette had a rough and underpowered engine, crude suspension that delivered a harsh ride, and an interior lined with cheap plastic in depressing colors. Construction quality was poor, with workers sometimes welding Coke bottles into door sills during assembly, creating mysterious rattles that were impossible to fix. These quality control issues persisted well into the 1980s. One documented case involved a brand new Chevette's drive shaft dropping off on a highway, spearing into the pavement, and vaulting the car into the air. The Chevette was slow, noisy, uncomfortable, and poorly assembled. It represented the low point of American compact car manufacturing, demonstrating why domestic automakers were losing ground to Japanese competitors. While it sold in decent numbers due to low pricing, the Chevette couldn't match foreign competitors in reliability, refinement, or basic transportation duties. These 8 compact cars represent documented failures in design, manufacturing, and safety from the 1970s. The Pinto's fuel tank design, the Vegas aluminum engine failures, and the Aspen Valaire's record-breaking recalls demonstrated serious quality control problems. These vehicles damaged manufacturer reputations and showed customers that rushing products to market without proper testing results in expensive recalls and safety issues.